Most of us think of an air compressor as harmless. We use them for air guns, filling tires, blowing off tools, and you probably don't think twice about turning one on. You're not alone. I was trying to fix my air compressor actually so that I can make another video teaching you how to fix one. And I was fixing my compressor. However, this video online that I seen, this was of the whole tank exploding, which it altered the video that I was going to make. And I wanted to get this out there because I was unaware that this sort of thing can happen.
We had a catastrophic failure this morning, and we figured we were going to post this on our little YouTube channel there as a warning to anybody out there that has one of these compressors in their garage. I've been in this shop for about 30 years. I've never seen this happen. Between my father, me, all my friends, we probably have at least 200 years of collective experience, and none of us have ever seen anything like this. So this morning I was working on my car, and we're charging up the compressor to do some work, and it exploded to the point where it was like a hand grenade in the garage, and it did quite a bit of damage. The compressor was next to the door. It blew the bottom of the door out and blew the frame out. The compressor was sitting right there, and it went straight up and wiped out the garage door, took the door off the frame, and blew a section of the block out where the garage door frame is mounted to. The garage door is a little cockeyed now. We're going to see if we can get it back in the track to get it closed. While that happened, I guess that there was enough rust in this tank over the years that the rust that was in the tank blew out, and the rust embedded itself in my door panels and in my insulation that was over there. The concussion from this explosion was so bad that it blew all the windows out of the garage. I was standing about 25 feet from it when it happened, and it shook the ground that I was standing on to the point where it woke my wife up in the house, woke my son up, woke the neighbors up because it was early, and my next closest neighbor is 75 yards away, and they all came over here early in the morning to see if I was okay, and I am okay. I can honestly say after this experience, a compressor will never live in this garage ever again. I know this is a freak accident, but if it can happen once, it can happen twice. The compressor was sitting right next to my son's toolbox. It knocked the speaker off the wall, blew a hole in the other speaker, and if I would have woke my son up early this morning like I said I was going to, it's probable that he would have been standing next to it when it blew up. And if the compressor didn't get him, it might have blown his eardrums out. So we've been walking next to this thing all morning and never had a problem. But with the potential hazard of one of these compressors, I didn't have the awareness that it could do this much damage or blow up this bad or be this dangerous.
That just sounds like a terrible freak accident. So many times I've used this compressor, I have never once looked at this label until after I've seen this video. And I'm pretty sure most of us have never read this label. This label says, to prevent serious injury, drain tank daily and after use. Internal rust can cause tank failure and explosion. And it has some warnings right here. To prevent serious injury, risk of fire and explosion, do not spray flammable liquids in a confined area or towards hot surface. Spray area must be well ventilated. Do not smoke while spraying or spray where spark or flame is present. Arc parts. Keep compressor at least 20 feet away from explosive vapors, such as when spraying with a spray gun. Risk of bursting. Do not adjust regulator to result in output pressure greater than marked maximum pressure of attached. Risk of injury. Do not direct airstream at body. To reduce the risk of electrical shock, do not expose to rain, store indoors. Wear and see approved safety goggles during use. Do not use to supply breathing air. Read manual before setup and or use. After I read some comments, there were some people saying that they later on found out he re-welded some of the parts on his compressor. The tank part, that's something that you just don't tamper with. These things have been tested and approved when they put them out for sale on the market. So obviously the weld failed and that compressed air just came out and exploded, causing shatters of it everywhere. And I could just imagine if somebody was walking through the shop, that could have been a deadly explosion. You got rusted metal pieces just flying everywhere. You seen that board that he had that had multiple holes in it. So I just wanted to get this safety tip out there. There was nothing on this tank saying that you can't mess with the actual compressor right here. It was the tank adjusting the regulators and the pressure on it. My problem that I had a broken seal on the inside of here. It wasn't building enough air fast enough, and I knew something was wrong. And so what I ended up doing, I replaced this seal on here, and my problem was fixed. But one thing that I'm not going to tamper with this tank. If it gets to the point where this tank starts to leak air or it's not holding the pressure as good enough because of a leak, it's time for me to replace the tank. If the tank seems rusted, especially if I release the air at the bottom and you see rust kind of coming out of the air with the air, it's time to replace the tank. If you found this video to be helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you ever heard of or if it ever happened to you of an air compressor tank exploding. Tell me your experience. I would love to know. Share this video with some of your friends who you know are DIYers that uses compressed air tools in their shops. Let's spread the message of safety so that as we're doing our work and we're trying to save money and put money back in our pockets, that we're being safe in that process and still being wise in what we do. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.